Let me welcome you to the wonders of the world. Lorraine and I are very fortunate. On our travels, we've seen all 7 wonders of the world. This presentation is regarding the Taj Mahal in India. I really do hope you like it. The first thing I want to do is do a little bit of Egyptian translation into English. Taj in India means crown in English, and Mahal is the name of his wife who died. I always like to start my presentation with need to know. There's quite a lot of need to know as far as India is concerned. I'll read a few out to you, but if you ever want to take a copy of this slide, please feel free to do so. First fact, there's 1.4 billion people in India, so you'll never ever be in a quiet location. Visas, when you get there, you normally get a 30 to 90 day visa. I fully recommend you get it in advance. You can get it on arrival, but normally if you do, you get a shorter one. This one is really important. Under no circumstances whatsoever, drink out of the taps. Also be very careful where you buy your bottled water from, and make sure that it's totally virgin water that you're drinking. We don't want you to end up in hospital. This was our travel plan. And of course you have to take into consideration there's 1.4 billion people in India. So if you book anything, the trains, etc., book them at least a week in advance. Here's a few more simple rules when you're traveling through countries like India. Don't have anything of any value. Watches, bracelets, necklaces, nope, they're a no. Computers, no. Anything that you don't want to lose, you don't take with you. After a couple of years of travelling, Lorraine and I travelled with just one backpack between us, and we were both of the opinion that if anybody stole our backpack, they would give it back to us out of sympathy. The main goal of this presentation is to enlighten you about the Taj Mahal, but the next few slides will just show you a little bit about India and what to expect before you get on that train and go to a wonder of the world, the Taj Mahal. If you decide to go to India, you will see things that you would never ever believe. Things like cows. Cows are considered sacred in Hinduism, and frequently we were in traffic jams because a cow was lying in the middle of the road and nobody would move it. I once watched a cow in a little village walk up the street and walk into each of the shops, get fed, come out and go to the next shop. When he got to the end of the street, he turned round and did it all again. Had to be the smartest cow I've ever seen in my life. This was our first morning in Delhi, and that's Lorena and her sister Jasmine riding on a camel. They decided if the trains weren't safe, camels were the answer. I took the hump with their camel idea and decided we'd go upmarket with a scooter. The next morning, the 3 of us wandered through the streets of Delhi, and as you can see, they're very, very busy. If you look at the photograph on the left and the right, one question that always goes in my mind is, does that wiring really work? And if anything stops, how on earth do you solve it? If you check out the center photograph, that's a body being carried along the Ganges. Eventually it'll reach a point where it will be burned in sacred wood, and then the ashes are thrown into the Ganges. I also discovered that the sacred cows, when they're passed on, they were put into the Ganges as well. We eventually went to a Hindu temple and I asked the question of the religious leader there, if you were putting all of these dead bodies into the Ganges, was it safe for people to be bathing in there? Would they not get infected? The religious man looked at me in total disbelief that I should have asked such a stupid question. And he said, no, of course not. No one has ever become ill from bathing in the Ganges. The Ganges is a sacred river. whenever you decide to travel on the trains, you must only travel by first or second class. This train in the video shows you first and second class at the front, and third class is in the rear. The good news is first and second class are very comfortable and very safe. There's doors between the first and second class, and they're locked totally, and there's a guard beside them. Obviously there's no doors, as you can see, in the third class area, so maybe a train which wants 100 people has 200 people on it, so you'll not have to trouble yourself without. One of the questions I've been asked quite a few times is, where exactly is the Taj Mahal? Well, it's a couple of miles outside the city of Agra, and it's on the banks of the Yamuna River. It's easy to find. This slide shows you the Taj Mahal visiting tips, and please feel free to take a copy of this slide if you so need it. The daily life for the workers was very hard. There was the harsh sunlight to take into consideration, and they were working from sunlight to sunset, about 10 to 12 hours every day. Even when the monsoons came from June to September, they still had to work. They were paid generously, and all the food they required was provided. The positive for the workers was, even when the food in the local area dwindled, the Shah provided food for the workers. He never failed to supply them. The dome was finished in 1648, but it took another 5 years to 1653 to build the outlying buildings and also do all the gardening. This is the Taj Mahal today, but what we want to do is take you back in history to find out why it was built and when it was built, and all of the little details in between. This lady is the Empress Taj Mahal, and she died on June the 17th, 1631. She passed away giving birth to her 14th child, and her husband, the Emperor Shah Jahan, decided to build the Taj Mahal in her memory. The gentleman in this photograph is the Shah Jahan, who was the 5th Mughal emperor. It is widely reported to have had 7 wives throughout his lifetime. He married several times for personal and also political reasons before and after Mahal's death. But it was his deep love for his third wife, Mumtaz Mahal, that we now have the privilege of being able to visit and see the Taj Mahal. It was his way to record the memory and the love of his wife, Mahal. The land that the Shah wanted was located on the southern side of Agra along the banks of the Yamuna River. It belonged to the Singh family. The compensation the Shah offered in return for this riverfront estate was 4 separate mansions, similar to the one in this photograph, from the Royal Crown Estates. The official records dictate that the transaction was formalised in a royal decree dated December the 28th, 1633. First, I would like to give credit to the original architect. His name is believed to have been Ustad Lahori. He was a very incredible person. It took 22 years to build the construction, beginning in 1632. Whilst the main mausoleum was finished in 1648, the surrounding gardens, gateways and auxiliary buildings were completed in 1653. It's estimated there was 20,000 in the workforce from across India, Persia and other regions. The white marble was sourced from Rajasthan and transported to Agra by the elephants. Whilst it was originally built as a tomb for Mahal, it later became the final resting place for the Shah himself. The site of the Taj Mahal covers 42 acres. The site is a rectangular wall complex located on the southern banks of the Yarmuru River. The 42 acres include the main mausoleum, surrounding gardens, a red sandstone mosque over to the right, and a mirror image guest house to the east. The inspiration for the Taj Mahal was commissioned by Shah Jahan in 1631. It was built in the memory of his wife Mumtaz Mahal, who died on the 17th of June that year while giving birth to their 14th child. The Taj Mahal has hidden tombs. The tombs visitors see are replicas. The actual simple graves of the Shah and Mahal are located in a restricted chamber below the main floor. The Taj Mahal was built with Makrana white marble and inlaid with 40 types of precious and semi-precious stones. The 4 minarets around the outside of the building were built to tilt slightly outwards to protect the main dome just in case of an earthquake. They would fall outwards and not inwards. The white marble of the Taj Mahal reflects different hues, appearing pinkish in the morning, milky white in the evening, and golden under the moonlight. Muslim tradition forbids elaborate decoration of graves, so the bodies of Mumtaz and the Shah were put in relatively plain crypts beneath the inner chamber, with their faces turned towards Mecca. The imperial court documented the grief that the Shah was experiencing after the death of his wife Mumtaz, illustrating the true love story held as the inspiration for the Taj Mahal. The name Taj Mahal comes from two things: Taj, meaning crown or palace, and Mahal is the last name of the Shah's wife. Here are 3 random photographs of the 10,000 or so Jasmine and Lorena took while we were there. The thing that makes the Taj Mahal quite unique is that every individual stone is beautifully carved. I created this video to show you the details of the carved stone. Hopefully I didn't bore you too much, but seeing the wonders of the world and learning all about them was a great experience for me, and I hope you enjoyed the presentation. Thank you. The end. We really hope you've enjoyed watching this as much as we have enjoyed the last 14 years of travelling the world. Travelling, the only way to live.